Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madam President, first and foremost, Malaysia would like to thank you for convening this debate and the Secretary General for his briefing this afternoon. My delegation aligned itself with a statement delivered by the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Malaysia also congratulates and welcomes the new members of the Council to shared responsibility to uphold peace and security across the globe. Madam President, just last week, Under Secretary General Martin Griffith said that Gaza is a stain on our collective conscience and that our inaction would become a permanent mark of humanity. Indeed, the Council's inability to call for ceasefire is partly responsible for what is now over 100 days of carnage in Gaza. It has been over 100 days of children becoming orphans, of mothers and fathers becoming parents without children, of streets becoming graveyards, and Palestinians being called the children of darkness by the regimes that rain bombs down upon their homes and hospitals. In this period of time, more than 25,000 Palestinians have been killed. On average, more than 250 Palestinians are killed every day, or more than 10 murders every hour. According to the United Nations Relief and Work Agency, for Palestinian refugees, up to 1.9 million people, or nearly 85% of Gaza's population, are forcibly displaced. Malaysia is appalled that Israel has been allowed to carry out what can only be described as indiscriminate bombing. Homes, shelters, evacuation routes, and even medical centers have been bombed. Those who are not killed by bombs or bullets face the prospect of disease and starvation. They are being denied food, water, medicine, electricity, fuel, and other basic needs. Gaza is on the brink of human famine, and its population is being starved as a method of warfare. It is a fact that these are war crimes. Israel has made sure that no one is safe, not even children. This crisis has introduced a most unwelcome new term into the English language. WCNSF stands for Wounded Child, No Surviving Family. This is used to describe what is now an everyday sight in Gaza. Madam President, Malaysia demands an immediate ceasefire. Malaysia condemns the forced displacement of Palestinians. The right to live in peace and security is fundamental, and we urge all parties to respect this basic human right. We call for UN agencies and aid organizations to be given access to provide essential aid without delay and hindrance. Malaysia demands accountability for Israel's clear violation of international law. We welcome and support the decision by South Africa to institute proceedings against Israel before the International Court of Justice. The lack of accountability for Israel's war crimes undermines the legitimacy of international law and efforts towards ending the illegal occupation of Palestine. In upholding the international law, Madam President, and the rights of the oppressed Malaysia, on 23 July 2023, along with 56 other countries, submitted a written statement for the advisory opinion on the legal consequences of Israel's ongoing violations in the Palestinian territory at ICJ. Malaysia will now also participate at the public hearing on 19 February this year. We condemn Israel's apartheid practices and persecutions against the Palestinian people in the occupied Palestinian territories. As a member state of the United Nations, Israel must respect and implement the relevant resolution of the Security Council. The Council cannot allow Israel to behave like the exceptions to the rule. Madam President, the international community must prioritize the upscaling of all necessary amenities for the Palestinian people. Access to basic services is a human right which should not be compromised. Israel's collective punishment of the entire population of Gaza is illegal immoral, and must immediately cease. Our stance is clear. There should not be reduction in Palestinian territory. Any attempt to grab their land violates international law and further undermines the prospect of peaceful coexistence. Malaysia calls for the full and swift implementation of Security Council Resolution 2712 and 2720. In October and December last year, we joined the overwhelming majority of member states in voting for 2 General Assembly resolutions demanding the protection of civilians and the upholding of legal and as well as humanitarian obligation in relation to Gaza. The majority have spoken, Madam President, and their demand should not be ignored. Malaysia welcomes the appointment of Ms. Sigrid Kaag as Senior Humanitarian and Reconstruction Coordinator for Gaza, pursuant to Security Council Resolution 2720. We hope that Ms. Kaag, who has vast experience, especially in Lebanon, will be given the support needed to effectively discharge her mandate and alleviate the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. We encourage collaboration among the parties concerned for a just and lasting solution to this bloodshed. Madam President, we are witnessing a great historical irony in Gaza. The State of Israel was born from horrors of the Second World War, and yet for the past 75 years, it has been inflicting the same deliberate destruction on the Palestinian people and now pursuing it to its premeditated end. This illegal and immoral pogrom of total annihilation should bring us to a single decision by members of this Council. It is time to recognize what Israel has been doing as genocide. And it is time to accept the State of Palestine as a full member of the United Nations. No nation, no people should be meant to suffer the prolonged indignity of being mere observers of their own slow, painful, and humiliating demise. Here, of all places, Palestine should be given the right to face the occupiers, not as second-class citizens, but as equals, as legitimate voice and an equal vote. We have failed them for far too long. We must stop this charade. The Palestinians deserve nothing less than a free and independent Palestine on the basis of two-state solution based on pre-1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. Malaysia will continue to do all that is within our means and within our rights to bring an end to this injustice and illegality. The State of Palestine must be admitted as the 194th member of the United Nations. We urge the Council to act now. The Council must take a united and decisive action to stop the war, save civilian lives, end collective punishment, stop the killing now. Thank you very much.